What if Vanessa were a female clone of William Afton? This has got to be one of the strangest scenarios I've come up with, and it sounds more like a theory than a what if. Now, I don't believe that this was ever the intention of Steel Wool with Vanessa, but I could definitely see theorists getting behind this being a possibility. I'm going to treat this as a what if scenario because personally, I don't think Vanessa is or was ever supposed to be a clone of William Afton. Why would William Afton want a female clone of himself, and how would he go about obtaining one? For why he would want a female clone, maybe he thought nobody would recognize a gender-flipped version of him and that children would be more trusting towards her. Maybe he also thought that a female clone of himself would be more sneaky, nimble, and agile. As to how he would obtain the knowledge to clone himself, well, it's the Five Nights at Freddy's universe. Weirder technology exists here than cloning. He could have left behind instructions and some DNA for anyone crazy enough to believe bringing WA back was a good idea. Many believe that Mrs. Afton is the current CEO of Fazbear Entertainment, and perhaps this was all her doing. She could have believed that a female clone of her husband would be the perfect daughter to inherit the company after she was gone. Hey, we're dealing with a scenario where William Afton cloned himself into a woman. If you think you're going nuts listening to this, I had to write it. Mrs. Afton or whoever within Fazbear Entertainment could have started growing Vanessa as a clone spliced with William's DNA in 2010, then have her fully grown into an adult by the 2030s. Help Wanted could have been Fazbear Entertainment's way of programming or brainwashing her with the memories and thought processes of William Afton. Vanny could be a side effect of Vanessa going nuts from having all that Afton data from over 40 years being fed directly into her mind. So the other question we have to answer is this the real William Afton who somehow transferred his mind into the female clone body? After all, William Afton died and this would be a way for him to actually come back. Well, the answer is simply no. This is just a female clone of him with a copy of his memories and personality. Even so, if this was the twist reveal Steel Wool went with Vanessa, I'm pretty sure everyone would have been more upset about it than the Burn Trap reveal. This reminds me of Sigma from Mega Man X. In those games, Sigma is the big bad robot end boss who keeps coming back from being destroyed in each sequel. By the 6th game, nobody took his return seriously and actually celebrated Mega Man X8 as his final appearance canonically due to how often he would transfer himself to other robot bodies. Oh my gosh, that just made me think of another scenario. What if Book William Afton transferred his soul into Charlie's adult body? Oh, you better believe that's gonna be an upcoming video, so look out. How would this scenario play out, and how much of Security Breach's story would need to change for it to happen? Well, as it turns out, most of Security Breach as we know it would stay intact. We wouldn't need to change anything until Gregory upgraded Freddy with Roxy's eyes and they started heading towards the front entrance. When Vanessa asked Gregory to meet her at the front of the stage in that totally appropriate and not at all creepy tone of voice,
Gregory, I think you deserve a reward. Go check the main stage.
this is where the story would change. Despite Freddy's pleas to head over to the front entrance, Gregory insisted that the two of them should meet up with Vanessa. He convinced Freddy that since he could remain inside his chest compartment, Vanessa or Vanny wouldn't have an opportunity to get him. When the two reached the stage, Vanessa was waiting for them with a sinister grin on her face. She congratulated Gregory on making it through the night. Well done. She squatted down at the front of the stage, speaking directly at Freddy's chest, knowing Gregory was inside as she offered the prize she had for him. So what prize did Vanessa offer? It was to take Gregory under her wing and together they could rule the galaxy as mother and son. I mean, she could adopt him and he would inherit all of Fazbear Entertainment. Freddy slowly backed away as he told Vanessa he knew what she was trying to pull. Vanessa's face went grim as she bit her bottom lip and told Freddy to be quiet, bear. She further scolded that was no way for him to talk to his creator. His creator? Freddy asked Vanessa what in the Pizzaplex she was talking about. Vanessa didn't create him. Fazbear Entertainment did. Vanessa laughed maniacally as she said, "That's true," and then asked, "Who was it that created Fazbear Entertainment?" Well, it was true she didn't build Freddy Fazbear. The man she was cloned after had. Freddy looked at Vanessa with visible confusion. He didn't know who had started the company. Vanessa laughed again as she revealed it was because all the staff and animatronics were locked out from knowing information that was that secret. She waved her hands in the air as she shouted to Freddy that he and Gregory were looking at the company's founder. Freddy thought that she had lost her mind from wearing the bunny costume too much and asked Vanessa to come to her senses. She told Freddy that Vanessa wasn't her name, never was, and that it was actually She paused as she pointed her finger up in the air. She told Freddy and Gregory that calling herself William Afton would sound a bit bizarre since she was a woman. There was a brief moment before she snapped her fingers and announced that both of them could call her Wilma Afton. Freddy desperately tried to appeal to Vanessa by telling her that Vanny was still in control and getting her to say crazy things. Wilma Afton shook her head from side to side while chuckling. Vanny was never in control, she told them. Not once during the whole entire night. No, Wilma had her on a tight leash, and any time Gregory saw her, it was because Afton wanted him to see her. Vanny was scared of her. Wilma informed the two as she took her mask out of the backpack she had on, absolutely terrified. She dropped the bunny mask onto the stage and stomped her shoe on the face part over one of the large red eyes. She didn't want to hurt Gregory, Wilma told the child. She didn't want to harm anybody. But she made an excellent scapegoat. It was child's play to get a bunny girl who just wanted to dress up and dance around playfully, make all those children disappear and pin it all on her. Controlling the will of a girl that emotionally stunted was just so euphoric, and it felt like kneading putty mentally. Wilma told both of them that when she wasn't in use, her crying could be heard somewhere in the dark recesses of Afton's mind. Whimper, whimper, whimper. The nightmares were keeping her company, making Vanny feel alone and scared. She begged all the time to be let out desperately, and it was music to Afton's mind. Freddy was horrified. The rabbit lady chasing Gregory the whole entire time meant him no harm. Vanny was just a girl, as scared as he was, under Wilma's control. Freddy yelled that Afton was a horrible monster, and she held up a taser saying no. She just knew how to keep everyone in line. As Wilma Afton shocked Freddy with the taser, she informed him that all Fazbear Entertainment animatronics were purposely built with a weakness to exposed bolts of electricity. Nearly all of Freddy's systems were at the point of frying as he was smoldering and dropped to one knee. His chest cavity opened up, and Wilma saw that Gregory was attempting to cram himself into the smallest part of the cavity. It was as if he thought that if he could hide well enough, she would forget he was in there. With a warm smile and an extended hand, she offered Gregory a better life, one better than what that bear could supply, Wilma told him. Gregory slowly climbed out of Freddy's chest, trembling with the help of Wilma, as all Freddy could weakly ask was,
"Gregory, what are you doing?"
Once out of Freddy, Gregory asked Wilma what kind of life he would have with her. After kneeling down to Gregory's height, she told him with a sweet smile, a life where he could have anything he ever wanted, and a real parent who actually cared about him. No more cheaply made entertainers who only pretended to care about him. Freddy reached out a hand slowly to Gregory as he begged,
"Don't listen to her, superstar. I've always cared so much about you."
Wilma asked Gregory which he would prefer, to try to expose this place, have nobody believe him and be thrown back out onto the street, or take over the company with her and run not only the Pizzaplex but every Freddy's location everywhere. He could have unlimited power over every animatronic everywhere and give them what they deserved when they didn't listen. Gregory asked what he would need to do for all this, and Wilma told him to simply follow her lead. She handed him the taser and said the first thing he would have to do was take out Freddy, show him who was boss.
"Don't do this, Gregory. I've kept you safe all night. I broke the rules, went against my programming, my friends, to make sure you would make it out of here, superstar. If you want me to leave with you, I will. There's still time to do the right thing. Don't let her sway you."
Freddy pleaded to Gregory while he was still on one knee and holding his side. Gregory slowly looked up from the taser, forming a sinister smile matching Wilma's. "Sorry, Freddy, but I don't need you anymore." As Gregory hit Freddy with the taser, he briefly lit up before going completely dark. His components and circuitry were all fried way beyond repair as he fell to the atrium floor with a loud metallic crash. Wilma couldn't believe it, but Glamrock Freddy had been destroyed. She took a moment to look over the scrap metal that used to be Freddy, bewilderingly before excitedly shaking Gregory's shoulders. Afton cried out how proud she was of him and how he was the son she always wanted. She took Gregory by the hand as both of them started to make their way towards the atrium's exit. Wilma told him there was a lot that needed to be done if he wanted to start learning how to run the company. Vanny's mask was left on the stage with a noticeable shoe print on it. As Wilma was leading Gregory away, she began to tear up and even sniffle. She wiped away her tears and shook her head as Gregory asked Wilma if she was okay. She told Gregory that everything was fine. It was just a distant memory trying to get at her. Wilma led Gregory to parts and service and unlocked a security level 10 door. Behind it, Gregory looked up in awe at a Glamrock Bonnie who was all yellow. She told him this was a special animatronic that could have its endoskeleton taken out while the outer shell remained intact. This allowed the Bonnie animatronic to be worn like a costume. Wilma informed Gregory that when he was big enough, this animatronic suit would be his, so he could carry on the Afton family legacy. Bad end.